So this week has been the week from hell. You know, I just keep thinking that things can't get any worse, and then they do, and it's just like, what karma have I done to deserve this? Because I try to be such a good person, and I'm really confused where the karma is coming from. So, where to even start? Where I left off last time is I woke up throwing up on a Thursday. I now suspect that that was because of another burst ovarian cyst, but I'm not sure. It could have been the treatment that the herbal treatment that I was doing at the time. So that was an awful day. I hate throwing up with a burning passion, and I was so nauseous. And thankfully, my dad went and picked up a nausea supplement from him, and it actually did really help. If anyone suffers from nausea and that is a constant symptom of mine, I would highly recommend this herbalist. I don't even know what the supplement was, but if you're interested, reach out to me. And it did take my nausea pretty much all the way away. It was incredible. So that was Thursday, but I had nausea the whole day because my dad didn't pick it up until after work, and I'd already thrown up in the morning, and then the rest of the day I was really on the edge of throwing up again. Then the next day I went to see a gyno because I went to see a different gyno than I was originally scheduled for. I didn't even think of this, but I am a student at the University of Delaware, and I took this semester off of a medical leave of absence. So I completely forgot that they have a women's health, and then, they have a gynecologist. So I went in, made an appointment. I'm not sure she had a lot of experience with ovarian cysts, but she did say, hey, we can change your birth control, which I am on for my acne, and that sometimes can help. I mean, if you're on birth control, that's supposed to already help with ovarian cysts and prevent them. Obviously hasn't prevented my 2 burst ones in the past 2 months. But anyway, so she said we can try a new one. She also had a lot of different other doctor recommendations, like an infectious disease doctor and a bunch of different doctors that would be great. I mean, I have Lyme disease, I have co-infections, so that would really be incredible to go see them. So that was a very helpful appointment in that way. Other than that, she didn't really have anything else. So then I called the endoscopy and colonoscopy place, and they literally had an appointment for 1 week later on another Friday. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'll take it. And so I basically took it and then immediately went to my gyno, and I was so exhausted the rest of the day that I didn't look at the information that they had sent me in the portal, and the person on the phone didn't warn me about anything. So the next day I look at the information for this endoscopy. Well, first of all, I wake up and I have the pain of another burst ovarian cyst. So it was just a nightmare day. But let me start with the endoscopy and the colonoscopy prep, and then I'll go into the ovarian cyst stuff. So I look at the information and it says 7 days before, so Friday, you are supposed to stop all supplements, all herbs, fish oil. Like, you can't have any of those 3 things. And I am on an all herbal treatment plan, and I'm taking a lot of supplements. And so I start freaking out because it says that if you have to cancel your colonoscopy, you have to cancel it 5 days in advance, which will be Sunday. And I was just absolutely losing it. It was like, in addition to a lot of the pain I was in. So I was just so anxious. I was about to have a panic attack because I really didn't want to give up this endoscopy and colonoscopy position, because the next one was going to be in October. So, or the original one that I had scheduled was in October. So I am just like freaking out. So I call the emergency number if you have emergency questions. They originally say, oh, it'll be 20 minutes till the physician on call calls you back. It was like 5 or 6 hours later. I just assumed they weren't going to call me back at that point. But the lady was like, you know what? It's okay if you just stop taking them now. And I had actually taken one that morning for the nausea. That was an herbal supplement. And she was like, no, that's okay. Just don't take any going forward. And I was really nervous and on edge the rest of the day because I was like, all right, I'm really trying not to throw up again today with my burst ovarian cyst. And so I took the supplement. Am I going to need to take it again so I don't throw up, or do I just throw up? So that was really freaking me out. But she was like, it's okay. and literally the prep, so I can't continue the herbal treatment at all because you can't have any herbal supplements, any herbs, or any supplements. And so I had to stop the treatment plan, and basically this whole week I can't do it leading up to it. And then 3 days before the colonoscopy, there is this really intense, also very strict diet, and I was gonna try continuing the diet of the herbalist, but if they overlap, the only thing that I could eat was like yogurt and meat for like 2 days, and then the last day, I said it was 3 days, but the last day is just an all liquid diet. So for 2 whole days, I would only be able to eat yogurt and meat is terrible on my stomach, and I really, it flares my symptoms. It's terrible for it. So another concern of mine was that I've been losing a lot of weight. I lost like 6 pounds before we even started this diet. I've been losing weight before that because I get really sick no matter what I eat, and so I've just not been eating a lot. So, and then I've been losing even more weight since then. So I am technically underweight for my height right now, and that was really freaking me out because I was like, the only thing I can eat is yogurt and meat for 2 days, and then the 3rd day it is an all liquid diet. I mean, you lose weight during that preparation anyway, and I was really freaking out. So that whole thing has yet to be resolved. Tomorrow is the first day of the preparation diet for the colonoscopy, so I will obviously vlog more of that process then. But it's just been like really stressful. And then my colonoscopy, I have to be there, and this is in Philly, and I live an hour or more from Philly. I have to be there at 6:30 in the morning, which means that we have to leave at like 5:30, which means that I need to like wake up at like maybe 5, and then you have to do stuff like 2 and 3 hours before as you're continuing to clean out for the colonoscopy. I'm literally gonna be awake all night, and I already have insomnia, which means that I usually cannot fall asleep until like 2 or 3 anyway. So that's gonna be a nightmare. And when I don't get a good night's sleep, like that really affects me for days after with all of my health issues. I'm so nervous about that. I'm not gonna lie, I'm so nervous. And I'm already super weak from the burst ovarian cyst, from throwing up, from doing the herbal treatment last week. And I'm gonna have even less food in my stomach for the next 3 or 4 days leading up to the colonoscopy. So I'm really just anxious because not anxious, but I'm concerned because I feel like I'm gonna get even weaker before the procedure, where they put you completely out. And the whole clean out procedure is literally giving you laxatives for an entire day, so you have diarrhea, and like you get really weak from diarrhea and you get dehydrated and all of that. The whole thing is like honestly concerning for me. So we'll see how all of that goes. I will be vlogging that process, and that will probably be a whole vlog in and of itself. Is just the whole prep for and the restrictive diet for the colonoscopy and endoscopy. So going back to my ovarian cyst. So I wake up Saturday morning in excruciating pain. My whole abdominal area is so tender again. I was also increasingly nauseous again. I was like, oh my God, am I gonna throw up again today? I went to the bathroom. With the first burst ovarian cyst I had 2 months ago, I had vaginal bleeding. I originally thought that was because I took my birth control that night late. I took it in the morning instead of that night because I was throwing up and I couldn't keep anything down, so I couldn't take it until the next day. So I thought that I was like spotting because of that, but I ended up bleeding for like 2 weeks straight that first time. So I don't think it was just that. I think it was the burst ovarian cyst. So I literally woke up Saturday morning, had vaginal bleeding like a lot, and I was like, okay, I know exactly what this is. Saturday was an awful day because I know what it is, right? But it's early. It should have started tomorrow on a Tuesday. The last 2 I've had have been on a Tuesday, and then it's waited 4 weeks and been on the next Tuesday. That's been the pattern. And so I was like assuming, okay, if I'm gonna have it again, it's gonna happen Tuesday, and it happened early, which is even more concerning. I was like, okay, does this mean that I'm having a torsion, which basically means when you have a cyst, if it's like sitting on top, it can flip your ovary because the weight is off balance, and then that can cause a lot of extra issues and problems, and you can have to have surgery for that. And I mean, I was just freaking out because it was early, and it was abnormal that it was early because the other two had been so like, because it's with your cycle. So I was like, why is this different? And I hadn't started the new birth control yet as well, so it had nothing to do with that. So I'm freaking out about that, and the whole colonoscopy, and oh my god, am I gonna be able to do it or not? It was such a stressful day, and my dad wasn't even around here, and I could have asked for a ride from someone else, but we were like, should I go to the emergency room again? Should I not? The past time, they did nothing for me. It was such a stressful day. And the issue is that like I can't have anything touching my stomach. So I'm like not wearing a shirt all day, because if anything touches my stomach, literally one of my hairs would fall and touch my stomach, and I would freak out, immediately know it was there, have to get it off because I was in so much pain. And so I'm like not wearing a shirt. How am I supposed to go to the emergency room when I cannot wear a shirt and have the fabric touch my skin? Awful. So I was in so much pain that entire day, on the edge of throwing up, having to figure out my endoscopy and colonoscopy stuff, trying to figure out and triage, should I go back to the emergency room and get this checked out? Because this is a really weird, like I know what this is, but it is an abnormal timing. It was such a stressful day. Yesterday was Sunday, and I was still in a lot of pain, and I've continued to have the vaginal bleeding and stuff, so that is the same pattern. I'm having like a full-blown period, not just spotting, like a full-blown period in the middle of my cycle, like 2 weeks earlier than I should have it. It's really freaky. So it has just been really stressful. Today I am still in pain. The whole area, like I've said before, feels like a meat tenderizer. Like that mallet has just smacked the heck out of this whole area. My t-shirt can touch it today, which is a huge plus. Like I'm still in pain, but I do feel relief from how much pain I was in. So I'm not in as much pain. And I just feel so grateful that I made it through that, I think. So yeah, 3rd burst ovarian cyst down. So many more to go if this continues to happen every month, which it has. But fingers crossed, I'm really hoping that the new birth control is going to help. She said you can take it continuously. She said don't even take the sugar pills, just take it continuously. We're gonna try flipping your system over. That's the plan, because my other gyno appointment is still in October. Yeah, I just kind of have to wait it out. So that's really frustrating, because I don't want to be in excruciating pain once a month, every month, and then continuously have pain for days after, and I'm super weak from it. It's a whole thing. So maybe it was like kind of a gift in disguise, because if I had it tomorrow, I might not have been able to do the endoscopy and the colonoscopy on Friday. So that is the update. Thank you for listening. That is like the in detail story of the past couple of days that have just been from hell. I'm really hoping I'm on the other side of that now, but tomorrow I start the next hell phase of preparing for this colonoscopy and endoscopy, and I'm just really exhausted. I feel very weak. I literally get shaky from just standing, going to try getting myself food. And my mom has been such a trooper. She is my caregiver. If it weren't for her, I wouldn't be eating or drinking anything on my worst days. And I'm really trying to push myself to get myself, like, fill my water bottle up or something to try keeping some muscle tone, because I'm walking less than 1,000 steps a day because I'm just so weak and exhausted and nauseous if I stand up. It's been a nightmare. Also, thank you everyone so much for your words of encouragement, your texts and your messages. I'm continuing to just really focus on my health, and the energy I have, I put it into like preparing for different stuff, calling doctors, updating doctors, all of that. You've all heard the spiel. So that's why I'm not really texting anyone back right now, but I really, really appreciate it. And I do read them all, and I will respond when I am able. So that is the current update, and in the next vlog I'm going to be kind of going over the process of preparing for the colonoscopy and the endoscopy. So thank you for listening, and I will talk to you all soon. Bye!